everybody. Wanted to talk about Hashimoto's disease briefly today. Actually, this is a request from, I can't believe it, a fan. I have a fan out there. And this was a request from him. So I hope this provides some helpful information for you as well as anybody else who watches this. Hashimoto's is a condition of the thyroid, and the thyroid is a complex creation, and it's driven by all kinds of different things. So a lot of this information is going to be based on what your actual diagnosis is and if you take Synthroid or some type of synthetic medication. There are also natural-based therapies out there. I actually have another client who does not tolerate the Synthroid, does not do well on it, and they put her on, I think it's a thyroid made from a pig. So that's also an option, but that's something that you need to talk about with your doctor. Thyroid is an autoimmune disease. There's lots of them out there. The bottom line is doing everything that you can to keep inflammation down in your body is essential. Things like berries, your darker berries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, all that stuff, your berries, limiting things like gluten and grain for the thyroid is really important. Things like dairy, soy, and sugar. And these are really things that I would tell anybody to try to limit, but people that have thyroid conditions most definitely need to limit those. And the cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbages, those can sometimes reduce iodine in the body, especially if you take some type of a thyroid medication, you would want to limit that exposure. Iodine is an issue with thyroid a lot of times, and you can usually get that from the sea. So you would want to eat things that would, increase iodine in your body. Things like seaweed, what's the other green thing I can't think of, spirulina, things like that, eggs. Those are things. And you would want to buy a salt that's like Celtic salt, like sea salt, that the minerals have not been stripped from them. Another thing is like ashwagandha or adaptogenic herbs. A lot of times those can help with regulating the thyroid. Again, if you're taking medication, you need to talk to your doctor to make sure how you would regulate or incorporate those in. I know there's some restrictions with caffeine and taking it on an empty stomach and all that kind of stuff, but your doctor would have to advise you on how to include that into your supplement. Some other things that I recommend are increasing bone broth, selenium, vitamin D. These two things are very important with the regulation of the thyroid. Selenium can be found in things like Brazil nuts. Vitamin D you can get from the sun if you limit your exposure and you don't overexpose yourself. Now, one of the things that I recommend, period, no matter what, whether it's a Hashimoto's condition or not, is give yourself a detox. Sometimes, a lot of times, that can jumpstart your health. Your body speaks to you, therefore that is going to tell you, that's going to be an indicator how you respond to the detox, just how bad off you are or not. So one of the things that I like to incorporate on occasion is like a week, just once a week. And actually I don't even do it every week, but on occasion I throw in an intermittent fasting day to where I just give my body a break from everything, and I just do an influx of water, filtered water, and decaf herbal teas, no sugar, no sweetener of any kind, no calories on that day. And I just set aside a time that I just I just do it all the time. Drink a lot of water. As soon as I'm done with that, I drink an herbal tea. And I do it when I have time, when I'm home, because clearly you're going to be going to the bathroom a lot. And a lot of times that can just kind of jumpstart your health. It gives your body a break from things, and it gives your body an opportunity to just clean things out. Keeping the liver clean is essential to the thyroid as well. So eating foods that are healthy for the liver are good, and giving your body a break from coffees and sugary drinks and all that stuff is a great thing to do. So an intermittent fasting can be helpful as long as you do it right. Some other things that I recommend is that, especially whether you're doing the fasting or not, is add bone broth, once a week to your diet. Just drink it. Do it on an intermittent fasting day. When you break your fast, drink some bone broth that day, or just drink it once or twice a week on an empty stomach. But it's got to be the real thing. It can't, you can't, when you get into boxed things, and when you get into, things that contain gluten and grains and things like that, things that are already prepared, they're going to contain preservatives and chemicals and things like that the body does not need. So you're going to have to make the bone broth yourself in order to reap the benefits that it has from not being prepackaged and pre-processed. So you know, a lot of this again is very general. Everybody's body responds differently to things. Try it, see what works and see what doesn't. That's what I do. I just use myself as an experiment with a lot of this stuff, and I just kind of figure out through trial and error what my body responds to well and what it doesn't respond to well, and I try to limit those things. With dairy, you can substitute like cow's milk dairy. You can use goat milk in process, you know, in substitution for that. You can also buy some good quality grass-fed cow's milk products that are not going to be as detrimental to you. So I hope this information has been helpful. Thanks for the requests. Give me some ideas if there's other things that you'd like to see a video on. You know, shoot me a message and let me know. Have a happy weekend, everybody.